Hi guys, this is Tino and I have something special for you guys. A movie review. Now, I don't often do movie reviews, but after watching this particular movie, I felt I had to say something about it. So what's that movie, you may ask? None other than Warcraft. Warcraft came out here in Zimbabwe just 2 days ago. Yes, we actually get movies at the same time as they come out in the US. Surprise, surprise. So I got a chance to have a look at this movie franchise that has only just begun, I guess, and is based off a game franchise that I have known for nearly my whole life. Now, before y'all pull out your blazing swords and decide to kind of shut me down too quick, let me just say I am not a Warcraft fan. I never played the games. I never read anything about it. I've never checked out the comics if there are any. I do not know any Warcraft lore. I'm more of, or I was, growing up with the stuff, more of a Command and Conquer Red Alert type of person, not really a World of Warcraft or Starcraft or any other craft. I just wasn't big into it. But I did always see it around me, at least since I was a teenager, and I knew it was a big deal for a lot of other people. Whilst other people were playing Warcraft, I was playing Final Fantasy. That was my thing. So I do appreciate this whole fantasy world. So we've come from a long way. We've had your Lord of the Rings, which kind of filled that space. We had Narnia going on, and then a slew of other movies that tried to capture that whole fantasy realm, the same way Star Wars and Star Trek caught the whole sci-fi realm. But Warcraft is one of the first which I can say I thoroughly enjoyed, despite not knowing anything about it. Now, don't get me wrong, I really loved Lord of the Rings, and it's still like one of the best out there when it comes to that whole thing. But considering where Warcraft was coming from and what it had to live up to, you see, Lord of the Rings had a bunch of books, and most of us knew nothing about it, so we weren't going to get mad if they messed anything up with it. But even when Lord of the Rings was still kind of just in book form and it had its fans doing that, Warcraft was an established thing. There were people playing the games and loving the games and buying the toys, buying the collectibles and all that other stuff. It wasn't a thing that was happening. So, though it's taken them years to get to the point of making a movie, they had a lot more fan service that they were going to have to do because of how long it's been around and how entrenched it's been in many young people's minds, shall we say. Anyway, that's my caveat. What do I actually think about the movie itself after having watched it? First off, let me just start off by saying, I'm not starting off anything here, but video game movies in general have kind of sucked. They just suck, guys. I mean, let's not lie about this. We've got a long history of bad video game movies. Anyone remember Max Payne? I remember Max Payne. I wish I didn't remember Max Payne. That movie made no sense. I don't know what they're trying to do. I totally skipped Hitman because I was like, I'm not even going to waste my time with this. Need for Speed is another movie. I was like, you know what? This movie is a movie about a game about driving which doesn't have a story anyway. Why the heck am I going to watch this? No. There have been some good ones. We all love Tomb Raider. That was fantastic. We've got the whole Resident Evil franchise. Now, I will not say that's fantastic, but it managed to make it through so many movies. Some people must have liked it for some reason. I love the first Mortal Kombat. That was brilliant. If you guys really would like to see how dumb a movie can look as a sequel, please watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That was just terrible. Anyway, and a bunch of other great movies, but more bad movies than great movies when it comes to video game movies. So when you go into one of these, if you know it's a game movie, most of the time you're thinking, what am I going to see? I sat through it and I was like, okay, this is, let me just lean back here. This ain't so bad. Hey, don't do that. It was great. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought, hey, this is the beginning of a very interesting franchise. Again, I'm not a fan, but I could see that they paid attention to some stuff. I may not have known much about the lore, but they tried. They were mentioning places and things and people who I was like, yeah, you just dropped that name because it's important for that name to be part of the story. I don't know who it is, but I can see you pay some kind of attention right there. Enough. And I could also get the sense that they skipped a bunch of stuff or they changed things. The lead character played by Paula Patton, one of the lead characters. Oh, by the way, great cast. They are not going to be walking around winning any Oscars. Oh yes, I played an orc. No, they're not going to be winning any kind of Oscars or anything for that. The only people walking down that red carpet are going to be the CG guys. They're going to be like, yeah, I wasn't even in this movie, but I'm taking this award. You got nothing? You're the actor? You got nothing? Oh, sorry. They're going to be doing that. But they still did a great job, but I could feel that some of the characters was like, yeesh, you guys have got an hour and something for this movie. You're kind of skipping a bunch of things as to how these characters got to kind of do what they do, but it still made sense for the story. So anyway, decent acting, great directing by Duncan Jones. Yep, great director. He managed to pull off a video game movie in a non-offensive way. And CG out of this mind. The story itself, the story I guess is what matters the most. I don't want to do any spoilers in this review yet. I'll do one for another one, but I'll do them for another one. But this was a story that you could say, okay, I never knew any of this world, but I get it now. There are these things called orcs. They're these flying creatures. There's guys with swords. There's kingdoms. I don't know all the lands or all that. I don't know if there's House Targaryen or House Stark. Yeah, I might have annoyed some people by throwing in that reference mixed with this. But anyway, I don't know all of that stuff, but I get this. I feel I get the issue. Again, I don't want to do a spoiler and kind of talk about how the story begins or how it ends or what happens in the middle and all that. But it's a great setup movie. Can I say that? It's a great setup movie. I am ready for the trilogy. I am ready to say, oh, I'll wait for next year or the year after, whatever. I'm going to get the next one because I am interested. I actually want to know what happens next because you guys have set this up well. Very nice. And I don't feel like they've shown us much with what little I know of Warcraft and the years it's been around me. This thing is deep and thick, full of stuff, tons of lore. This movie brushes into it, touches. They don't explain where the magic's coming from, or why this person's got this level of magic and that one doesn't, or where these beings come from, or what they're doing, or why these kingdoms used to be fighting and now they aren't, and why they got beef with each other. None of that is explained, but we know it's going to be. This movie just set things up, and I'm like, good job, guys. So if I'm gonna say tell anybody, should you go watch Warcraft? Yes, please go watch Warcraft. If you like video games, go watch Warcraft. Who knows, one day we might actually get a full-length Halo movie or something like that, and they're gonna look at things like Warcraft and say, how did these guys pull it off? So I say hands up to Blizzard. Well done, Blizzard, you did great. I'm sure people like Riot Games are looking at you saying, Clash of Clans the movie, and thinking crazy things like that. But I'm like, go watch this movie. Actually give it a go. We watch a lot of superhero stuff. So after X-Men, after Captain America Civil War, after all of that, and embedded and Dawn of Justice, and then embedded right in between other big things, what's the other big thing? I forget what the other big movie is coming. Oh yes, Suicide Squad is coming up, and then we also had Deadpool. So after just superhero, finally we get something that's like, no, I'm not a superhero movie, but I could be just as cool. I mean, everybody else is released their fantasy movies like 2 years ago. We're gonna do ours now, and it came out well. I liked it. So, Warcraft, should you watch it? Yes. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. The only reason it doesn't get the other 2 stars because, well, it's not perfect. But you should watch it. Anyway, this is Tino, Comexposed, signing out.